talk about the new GBM and really it's from our involvement over the last 10 months. I'll give you an update on what we've achieved and where our focus is. Cautionary statement. Next slide, Steve. Stay awake.
Thank you, Peter.
Next slide. Yeah, look, really new management team we'll talk about. We've been in the seat sort of 10 months, taking the reins of the company. We've got a few additional probably board changes, which we'll announce in the next few weeks that'll further strengthen the board with the new announcement there. Our key focus really is our Mount Coolin project, which we'll talk about, and that's really about building a plus 1 million ounce resource at that property, building on the existing resource base that's already there. We've got a whole number of other properties in our portfolio that we like, but we can't fund all of these, so we're really looking at how we've got 2 of them under joint venture arrangements and a third that we're trying to get under a joint venture arrangement. We'll talk about White Dam Gold copper heap leach operation that is generating cash flow for us at the moment, and we've had good success in the last 6-7 months in bringing in additional shareholders from North America and European funds, and at the moment we're well funded for our activities in the short term with about 6.2 million in cash and Novo securities. Just in terms of the people behind, both Peter Mullins and Steve Nano are sort of strong exploration geos. They've had a long experience base in epithermal systems in both Australia and South America. Both have also had a strong track record at generating shareholder returns in listed companies. So we'll talk more about how they're contributing to the sort of growth of the company. My background, as Joe said, is a metallurgist. I've got sort of strong production background, bring a little bit different skill set to an exploration company, but that obviously assists in our sort of endeavours to get cash flow from our heap leach operation. Last 5 years, I've been involved in sort of private mining companies, both developing and production assets and advancing projects. In terms of our capital structure, we've got a fairly tight capital structure. We did a rollback late last year. Share price is about 13 cents for a market cap of 45 million. We've got, as I said, about 6.2 million in cash and marketable securities. Should Novo exercise their option on one of our joint venture projects, we'll have another 5.6 million for about $11 million. So again, well positioned to carry out what we need to do and had good support over the last 6 or 12 months on the share price, and management own about 15 to 16% of the company. I'll now hand over to Steve, and I'll wrap up at the end on the producing assets. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Peter. So just a quick overview slide here that gives a bit of a feel for a high caliber project portfolio that GBM has, all focused in Eastern Australia. Of course, very accessible and explorable projects, but an important point that Joe made earlier on. Our flagship project, Mount Coolin, a wet epithermal low sulphidation district scale project in the Drummond Basin in Queensland, where there's been significant historic production. We have an existing resource there of over 300,000 ounces of gold and a track to expand that rapidly to over 1 million ounces. Our project in the Victorian Goldfields, a very topical part of the world at the moment. I'm sure many of the listeners here today know of the Kirkland Lake Fosterville mine. We own one of the true analogies to the Fosterville mine in our Malmesbury project. Strong geological similarities, historic gold field with significant high-grade production, and should Novo exercise the option, a strong partner there to advance that through our combined self-drill on our flagship projects and our joint ventures on our other project portfolios. White Dam, our heap leach operation, as Peter has mentioned, now up and running and generating cash flow for us. 50% ownership of the stream of income from that project, and an option to acquire 100% over the next 12 months. Mount Morgan, one of the truly historic and world-class districts in Queensland. GBM has over 1,000 square kilometres surrounding the mine. This mine has been compared to the Horn mine in the Noranda camp in Canada. The Mount Morgan mine has produced over 7 million ounces of gold and over 300,000 tonnes of copper. We view that district as substantially underexplored for new resources. Our Cloncurry joint venture surrounding the Glencore Ernest Henry mine, so a world-class copper gold mine. Our joint venture partners will be investing in the range of $750,000 drilling targets there this year. Quickly moving on to this slide, a very strong portfolio of projects right through from resource definition drilling at our White Dam heap leach operation, and a number of drill targets and early stage pipelines here. The important thing I think to draw your attention to is on the right hand side, where over the past 6 months, Peter and myself and the team have been able to bring in a 5-fold increase in the exploration spend that's projected for the company over the next 12 months. A significant proportion of that will be GBM's spend on the 100% Mount Coolon flagship project, so about $2.8 million on a drill program that we initiated there 2 days ago, and also significant exploration spend from our joint venture partners. Novo, again, if they exercise, will be spending about $1.25 million there in the first 12 months, and our Cloncurry Gold project $750,000. So a substantial increase in reactivation of this company to see the projects advancing. A quick overview shot here. This is the drill rig on the edge of one of the pits within the Mount Coolon project. As you can see, very explorable, very accessible, and of course it's sunshine every day in Queensland, so long, strong exploration seasons. Just comparing the Drummond Basin, where our flagship project is located, to something a little bit more familiar potentially here, Santa Cruz in Argentina. The two areas at the same scale. What's really important to us is 3 key points about this. The GBM team have substantial track record in successfully exploring for and discovering large-scale epithermal districts. We see the Drummond Basin as substantially underexplored compared to a terrain like Santa Cruz, where there's been significant investment exploration, very little done in the Drummond Basin in the last 2 decades. So we're looking forward to getting the drill rigs going, applying the technologies and funding that we've been able to raise to explore what we think is a substantial district opportunity. Zooming into our project portfolio there at Mount Coolon, a very simple 3-stage process here to elevate our resources from the 300,000 ounce range to the plus million ounce range. First step is we're quite advanced now with negotiations and a number of resources that are on active mining leases within the trucking halo of Mount Coolon. If successful, we'll hold without drilling a metre of core in excess of 1 million ounces of resources, predominantly on active mining licenses. We've recently expanded the tenement position. As you can see, a substantial increase here through new staking. We've staked another 2,800 square kilometres. So once granted, that would bring us to over 4,000 kilometres in the Drummond Basin, so the most significant landholder, all within the trucking halo. And also what we've done here is we've prioritised our Mount Coolon project. So our drill program is active, 5,000 metres. That first round of drilling is focused around the existing resource base at the Koala, Glen Ever and Eugenia projects. We only have time today here to have a look at one of those projects, Koala. I do encourage people to look at our recent press release to see some of the really exciting targets that we have at Glen Ever and Eugenia, but a quick look at Koala. You can see on the left-hand side the surface projection of the vein system, the old pit, the projected surface trace of the grade shell. On the long section in front of us, classic meters times drill intersections and outlines of the chutes, clearly open to depth with some high-grade numbers. We've defined 4 primary targets that we'll be testing. with this round, drilling under some really fantastic numbers that are at the edge of drilling now. So intersections in the historic database here at 2.6 meters at 12 grams, 4 meters at nearly 10 grams. Plenty of potential here to expand this to depth. Just comparing it to one of the other large epithermal deposits within the Drummond Basin, the Pajingo mine. See here a long section of the Nancy Vera chute that has produced 2.5 million ounces. Our Koala vein section here, same scale, lots of open opportunity here to expand this. So really exciting and underexplored target from our perspective. I'll shift quickly now to Victoria, where we have a very substantial project, the Malmesbury project. As you can see here, it's at the epicenter of the exploration and mining in this part of the world. Substantial gold province has produced over 60 million ounces of gold. Many of the investors will be aware of the Kirkland Lake Fosterville mine, which is a focused attention in this part of the country again. We have a true analogy to that project and a very exciting joint venture we hope will be exercised shortly by Novo, with substantial investment going into our project and the potential for us to retain 40% or a 25% carried to production position. Lots of historic production from this field, multi-ounce numbers that have been produced, strong analogy to Fosterville with both the grade and the pulses of mineralisation that we're seeing. Back to you, Peter.
Just back on our production joint venture at the White Dam heap leach operation. So this joint venture basically was a low-cost option for us to get involved in a cash flow producing project to support our G&A and exploration activities. It's obviously right in my sweet spot in terms of production assets, being a metallurgist and an operating person. Really, what we've got here is 12 months to assess the resource potential of below the existing pits and then decide whether we want to exercise our option. Next slide, Steve. So on the work that we've completed over the last few months, we've done the JORC resource update, which came out a few weeks ago, 100,000 ounce resource. So it's really about leveraging these resources, working out what we can bring into reserve over the next 6 months ahead of exercising our option. So for GBM, really, this is about getting significant cash flow over and above our current cash flow from the operation, and then advancing the regional exploration opportunities. Next slide, Steve. So really, in summary, we've had 10 months sort of reinvigorating the company with management changes and some further changes to come. We're well funded at the moment with cash. We're focused on our Mount Coolin. We've got a lot of projects in our portfolio, but we've made sure that we're focusing our spend on our flagship project, and then making sure all our other portfolio assets are well funded through either existing JVs or bringing in new JV partners. And White Dam is really about good, strong cash flow and upside on the resource that's still there and the regional near mine targets. Thanks, everyone.